just in case I want to start again. Welcome back! I've been planning to make this video for such a long time, and I've actually got a cold, but it's not gonna stop me. Hell no. I want to talk about the polyvagal theory. I have learned about the polyvagal theory like 1.5 years ago, and it has changed my life. It is a psychology model that basically helps us understand how trauma works and how I got a cold. How our autonomic nervous system reacts to various levels of stress. The good thing about this model is that it takes away shame because it's autonomic, right? So if somebody scares you, your heart rate is going to go up, and it's not like you choose to do that. It just happens. So you don't have to be like ashamed of your heart rate going up. It's just, and then you see that it's actually your friend. You laugh or you slap them, you get rid of all the energy built up because of the fear, and then you feel fine again. That's basically the polyvagal theory. So yeah, the good thing is it's autonomic. It's the thing that regulates like heart rate, digestion, breathing, all the things that you don't have to think about, they just happen. All right, some background, because I didn't come up with this theory. The polyvagal theory exists since about 1994. The first time somebody published something about it was in 2011, so that's pretty recent. His name was Dr. Stephen Porge. A few years later, Dr. Deb Dana used the analogy of a ladder when explaining the polyvagal theory, and I'm going to use that as well because for me it works really well. So you have 3 stages. You have safe and social, flight, fight, and shutdown. And you got some mixed states as well, but I'll get into that in a bit. Basically, when your nervous system is feeling safe, you're in safe and social mode. And safe and social mode is what it sounds like. You feel safe, and because you feel safe, you're able to be sociable. You're able to think about other people, to sit still, to listen. You are able to think with your full brain. You can problem solve. You have access to critical thinking, reasoning, problem solving, all of that good stuff. Safe and social also facilitates growth, restoration, and health. So when your nervous system is not in safe and social very often, you're going to get like physical problems as well because you're not restoring and resting and you're not healthy, right? So that is where this model becomes very interesting. Something else that is very interesting in safe and social, your ear muscles are attuned to human voice. And when you get more stressed, actually the muscles there, they change and you hear different things. That's very interesting because sometimes when somebody is stressed, you're like talking to them and they just don't hear you. In safe and social, your thoughts are organized. You're capable of making decisions based on your values and the whole thing works and you feel calm. Let's see what happens in your body. Your heart rate is at a pleasant pace. Digestion goes well. You're able to smile with eye crinkles. You can talk with a sing-songy voice like I'm doing now, even though I have a little bit of a cold. In safe and social, you give and receive safety cues, which are the things that make you feel safe. For example, when somebody smiles at you and they have these eye crinkles, they show a light smile. Safe, gentle touch is also a safety cue. Using your voice in a sing-songy way is a safety cue because when you feel like you're in danger, you're going to start talking like this. So ideally, you spend a lot of time in safe and social, obviously, because you're capable of being with other people, you're happy, you're relaxed, your health is going well. It's good there. But sometimes you get scared. Something happens. Something imaginary, something real. But your nervous system perceives danger. So it's going to go down the ladder and it's going to go to flight. Because imagine the tiger, coming out of the bushes, running at you. The first thing you're going to try to do, I hope, is try to run away. And only if that doesn't work, if that doesn't bring you to safety, you're going to have to turn around and fight him. So first you will try to get away from the danger. Or if somebody gets angry at you, you're first going to try to avoid the whole thing. And if you can't, then you have to answer and maybe get angry as well. In the flight fight state, the body is mobilized, like it's getting ready to flee or fight, right? So there's a lot of energy that comes up. What else happens? Your heart rate goes up, blood pressure increases, cortisol and adrenaline are released, muscle tension for running or fighting. Your pupils dilate, you start sweating, your face goes flat. Like when you're safe and social, you have like a lot of facial expressions going on. But when you're scared, you're like flat, no? Or when you're angry, it's very monotone. Even my voice talking about it gets like very flat because there is danger. I'm not going to be singing. I'm not going to be acting out 50 different emotions. That's not my priority right now. Another interesting thing is that the more down you go on the ladder, the higher your pain tolerance gets. And that is really good for potentially escaping the tiger, right? When you're like in danger, but you don't feel the pain that might be happening, you have a bigger chance of survival, right? Because if you would be feeling all the pain, you would not be able to run when you get the chance. So that is really awesome. Other more subtle, more mental things maybe that happen in flight fight is we get really good at scanning the environment for danger. And because we are scanning for it, we're also finding way more danger. Like in the same situation, if you would feel safe, you wouldn't see a lot of dangerous things because you're not looking for it, right? And then when you feel very unsafe, you start seeing even more things to be scared of. So that's a bit shitty, but that's how it works. And it's also good because there might actually be danger that you should be spotting, right? The fight-flight state is meant to be used in short bursts of energy. So you're supposed to be there only for a very short amount of time because, you know, all the adrenaline and cortisol and all that stuff happening, you're not digesting because that's not important when the tiger is chasing you. You're not in restoration or health, you know, all of that stuff is not happening. So it's better if you're not there for too long because it will make you sick. But if you experience trauma, you can get stuck in these lower stages. And that is also why this theory is very interesting because you can learn to pinpoint which state you're stuck in or which state you're just in that moment. And it makes it easier to understand what you need to go up the ladder and feel safe again and get to health and social stuff and happiness. So that's good to know, right? So that is flight fight. And again, it's the autonomic nervous system. So you don't have to like be ashamed for getting scared, wanting to run away or getting angry or wanting to fight. It just means that your nervous system detects danger and it's responding automatically. So you're not choosing to be angry. You're not choosing to be scared. It's your nervous system doing that. And the thing you should do is not get angry at yourself or shame yourself because you think that's going to make the nervous system feel more safe. I don't think so. So a better idea is to be nice to yourself, right? Because it's happening. It's happening anyway. So it can be like, okay, what is happening? What do I need to feel safe again? And then you're going to go up the ladder. You're going to feel so much better. And you're going to actually be able to find solutions for the potential problem that was happening. So don't try to find a solution when you're like all freaking out. First, make yourself feel safe. And I will tell you some tips at the end of the video. Now, we got one left, right? Like all the way at the bottom, we have shutdown. And it is what it sounds like. Your nervous system basically just shuts down. It comes from preparing to die if the tiger gets you, right? The system shuts down because it's going to be too painful. It's going to be too scary. There's nothing left you can do. You're probably going to die. You don't want to feel all of that. You don't want to even experience all of that. You don't want to remember that if you were to survive. So it just shuts down. Now, in modern life where we don't encounter tigers so much, the thing that happens still is massive drop in heart rate. Historically, that's so you wouldn't bleed to that too quickly, right? Dissociation, so you don't have to experience all of it. Immobilization, drop in blood pressure, so less blood and oxygen going to the brain, which doesn't help if you try to think. No energy, slow movement, very high pain tolerance. Like you're very numb in all senses, emotionally, physically. So it helps when you're about to die, but in like day-to-day life, it starts to sound a lot like depression, right? You can feel numb, hopeless, foggy, tired, abandoned or lonely, cold because of the poor blood circulation. You're very pale as well. You can feel pressure in your chest, the feeling of wanting to hide, disorientation, like where am I? What's the time? Time kind of gets lost. Dead gaze, you're a bit hazy, foggy. And yes, it does sound a lot like depression. And yes, depression lives in this shutdown state. What else? You avoid eye contact, which is a big contrast with flight fight, because there you're like scanning for danger, your eyes are working overtime. And in shutdown, you're kind of giving up, you're gonna die. It's too much, it's too difficult, it's too painful. You stop feeling, you stop thinking, you stop everything, just because you cannot run away, you cannot fight it. You're stuck, you shut down, over. It's the best you can do. Now, the thing with this ladder is you are supposed to go up and down the whole time. Let's say hunger will bring you down a little bit and will make you go get some food. When a car almost hits you, it will activate your nervous system, will make you run away, and like you get all of this energy, and afterwards you're like, oh, and you like breathe out the energy. Maybe you share your story with someone to like get rid of all the, and then you can go feel calm again. Even shutdown can happen in a healthy way. Let's say if you want to sleep, you go in a shutdown. People who are struggling with PTSD, for example, who are traumatized, very often have difficulty sleeping because you have to feel safe to sleep, because you're going to freaking shut down. If you're not safe, you don't want to shut down, right? Because you're not scanning for anything. What else? Meditation, for example, is also a shutdown that you choose to go to. What else? You have the mixed states. Yeah, they are fun. So you also have, in between safe and social and flight fight, you have play. Because to play, you need energy, right? You're gonna like play the game, like try to catch someone or try to run faster or kick the ball, so you need the mobilization of the flight fight, but you don't want to actually be scared, right? That's not very playful. So you also need like one leg in safe and social and one leg in mobilization. So you can play, but while feeling safe. And the cues of being safe in a game is that people are still laughing, right? That's a safety cue. Eye contact. You keep eye contact with your fellow players. Another very important thing for safety in play is the rules of the game. Because, for example, in soccer or football, however you call it, what happens when somebody breaks a rule? People get very angry. That is because they lose their safety. So they're just stuck with this flight fight energy. But as long as everybody follows the rules, they can get like angry and loud, but it's like, it's playful, it's safe. But if somebody breaks the rules, they start fighting because they lose the safety. So for play, you really need both. Because if you only have safety, you're not gonna like run very fast or like try to win, or so that's kind of a fun mixed state for sure. Another mixed state that is less fun is between flight fight and shutdown, and it's called freeze. More often than not, it's forced upon you. For example, the tiger, right? Well, the tiger is like really dangerous. I'm gonna try with the tiger. So let's say the tiger, you get like super mobilized, you try to fight him, it doesn't work, he puts his paw on your chest. He's not like killing you yet, just put his paw on your chest, and you're still like not sure, should I be shutting down or am I still going to be able to run away? But you are immobilized because his paw is on your chest. So you're like forced in some kind of shutdown, but with the energy of the flight fight. So that is the difference between shutdown and freeze, is the energy level. Like in shutdown, no energy whatsoever. Like, depression, you cannot even get out of bed. But in freeze, you're not moving, but the energy is like it's ready to explode. So that is that one. It can happen when somebody attacks you and you have like all of this energy of the attack and of what am I gonna do, but they have a gun. They have a gun pointed at your head. So you got all of this energy, but you cannot move. That is freeze. So that is all very natural. Now, people who have experienced trauma can get stuck in the lower stages. And that is not healthy. And it doesn't make you happy. It doesn't make life very nice. So you want to make sure you know how to get back up again. Like when you get scared, you don't have to be stuck with that fear for hours or days. Or some people never get out. So what are things that can help you move up the ladder when you notice that you have gone down? First thing I have to say here is it's very personal. So every nervous system is different because your experiences in life are different. If you grew up with an angry parent and every time that parent came home, you heard the door slam and you knew something bad was going to happen, then now in adult life, just hearing the slamming of a door can be a fear trigger and can trigger your nervous system to go down the ladder. And for other people, a door slamming is just a door slamming, right? Or it can be a smell, or it can be a sound, or it can be a taste, or a tone of voice. It can be seemingly very small things, but because something in the past happened with that small thing, your nervous system remembers and tries to keep you safe. It's like, oh, that smell, bad things happen when that smell is there. So I'm going to prepare to fight off the bad stuff. And in the same way, the things that can bring you back up are very personal too. Because for me, maybe the smell of cookies brings good memories and makes me feel like safe and makes me go up. And for someone else, it could be like, oh, my mom is depressed and then she makes cookies. So the smell of cookies is like a completely different thing. But I will give you some ideas, share some of the stuff that works for me. One thing that is the same for basically everybody. Don't get angry at yourself for going down the ladder because the key word is safety. So first of all, be kind. Listen to yourself as if you would listen to a small child when he's crying. When you start shouting at a small child that is crying, it typically doesn't help. They just want you to be like safe and kind and like hug them and say it's gonna be okay, what happened? Be safe, be kind, be gentle to yourself as well. So for me, one thing that helps in many stages actually is warmth. To drink something warm, like hot chocolate or a cup of tea, take a hot bath, just sit by the fire, a hot water bottle, warm, just like warm, or the sun. You can just, warmth for me is a really relaxing safety cue. So you can try that one as well. I mean, more people do that. Like hot chocolate is, for many people, it's like, you feel cozy, you feel warm. A hot bath, it's like warm, it's relaxing. So warmth for me is a really good one. Oh yes. You have a difference between self-regulation and co-regulation. Self-regulation would be the hot water bottle, making myself some tea, a hot bath, like that's me regulating my own nervous system. But you also have co-regulation. That's like magic. That's amazing. It's not always available. That's why you also have to learn to self-soothe. But nervous systems of different mammals communicate. So, for example, if you are very stressed, but you have somebody next to you that is calm, safe and social, has a calm nervous system, they communicate. And your nervous system is like, oh, but if this nervous system next to me is super calm, then maybe we are safe because it wouldn't be able to be so calm if we were in danger. And I'm like right next to it. So that can just help make you feel calm when somebody next to you is just calm. Also, the safety cues like eye crinkles and smiles and just like gentle touch, like you're gonna be okay. Like a nice soft voice. Those things can just calm you down. So another calm nervous system can calm you down. A thing that I do often, and I never knew why, but now because of the theory I know. When I get super stressed, when things get very overwhelming, when life is asking many things of me or something is very scary, or I've always felt like my brain just goes offline. And I thought that was a thing that just happened to me. And I just cannot think clearly anymore. And what I automatically do is I try to find another brain that still works. So a human being that is calm enough to be my brain. And that is because in flight fight, your thinking brain goes offline. Like you cannot problem solve, you cannot think clearly, you don't see solutions. You have to be calm enough to do that. And because in those moments I realized like I need solutions, but it's just not working. Please, somebody, please be my brain. And that is called co-regulation. So that is very sweet. Or when you are doing public speaking, you're telling a story to different people and you're starting to get nervous, you can start scanning for safety cues. Like if everybody's like looking super serious, you might get like even more nervous. Like, what are they thinking? They don't like it. They think it's boring. Like you're going to come up with all kinds of reasons why they are not smiling and making safe and social cues in your direction. But if you spot somebody that is looking at you with these soft eyes, maybe a crinkle, and when they see your eyes, they give a little nod, a little smile, you're like, you can just calm down. Because like, okay, there's a kind person there, there's a safe person there, is giving cues that everything is fine, I'm going to be okay. So if you're nervous, try to look for safe eyes, for somebody that can smile at you and like do a crinkle and be like, it's okay, I see you, I'm here, it's fine. If you have that safe person, a hug can be very calming as well. If you don't have a safe person, there's good news. If you have a dog or a pet or another mammal animal, because as I said, all mammals have nervous systems that do that thing. So if I don't have a person, I have a dog, and I can be petting my dog or hugging my dog, or even just watching my dog can calm me down. Watching your pet sleep. Come on, if you have a pet, you know what I mean. It's so nice. It's so calming. How many pictures do you have of your pet sleeping, right? It's just, there's something so calming, so beautiful about that. So watching your pet sleep or eat or drink, because it means they're feeling safe, because otherwise they would not be doing those things. And so you can tap into that and like it can calm you down. Or petting them. So that. And so as I said before, I think when something very scary or stressful happened to you, you're like full of this stress energy. And sometimes venting to somebody can help, because you get to get the story out, and with the story a lot of the energy gets out as well, and then you calm down while getting your story. And you should talk like this, and even go for a walk, like ask them to go for a walk with you and tell your story while you're walking, because then you can get even more energy out while you're getting rid of your story and like going back home in safety. Getting home to your family, if you have a safe family or a group of friends, can also like trigger safety, just literally because being in a group of safe people, like literally physically, is more safe, right? So that can also help. If you don't have a safe person or that person is not available, something that also helps me sometimes is writing in a diary, because you get to still vent your story. You can use all the swearing words you like. You can like repeat, and you can be angry and nasty or nice. Everything you want. Nobody's gonna tell you that you have to be nice, that you should calm down, that you have to reframe and be positive. No, you can just get it all out on paper if you don't have a person. And that really helps me as well, depending on the situation. But you kind of need a toolbox. You need like many things that you know work for you. And then depending on the state you're in, depending on what you have available, you can pick from your toolbox, and you're gonna get to know yourself better. And it's so nice to be able to help yourself instead of like not knowing what's happening and like get angry and shame yourself. Okay, another example, something very personal for me as well. When I am in flight mode, like the anxious energy, then like the more typical things that people say to like calm down and stuff, they can work. Slow breathing, slow belly breathing, meditation, yoga, go for a walk, like the calming things, they can actually work if I'm like physically safe, obviously, because if I'm in actual danger, I don't even want to calm down, right? So like the deep breathing, for example, that works because you're kind of tricking your nervous system into feeling safe. Or tricking, you're just telling it that you're safe because it's anxious. But the fact that you are able to take deep, slow belly breaths, it means that you're safe, because if there was actual danger, you wouldn't be able to do that. So by breathing slowly, consciously, you're telling your nervous system, it's okay. We are safe. Shh, it's okay. Right? So those things, they help when I feel a bit anxious. But when I go further down the ladder and I get more in this fight mode, like this anger, irritation, swearing words kind of mode. I swear a lot when I'm in that mode. If then people say, and I get in fight mode just talking about it, if then people say, just take a breath, do some yoga, calm down, I'm like, don't ask me to calm down. I am angry, I am frustrated, I am irritated, I'm full of this freaking energy. Don't ask me to do freaking yoga or breathe slowly. You typically go up the steps one step at a time. So if you are very angry, you're not gonna like do one thing and be in safe and social. It's gonna take more steps. When you're in shutdown, don't expect people to get to safe and social by going for a walk, go in the city and talk to some people. Somebody who's depressed cannot do that. That's too many steps all at once. You have to take smaller steps. So what I was saying, when I'm angry, I first have to get rid of that anger, irritation, frustration, energy. And then when that is like mostly gone, then we can talk about breathing and yoga. And then that can work. So when there's like this fight energy, it makes more sense to me and my nervous system anyway, to go fight. Not literally, but like punch a pillow, go for a run, go do stuff that takes a lot of energy, go to the gym, go do push-ups, a lot of energy release things. Not a gentle walk, nah, that's not going to be good enough, you know? So you get to know your nervous system, you get to know what works, what not, and maybe people say, but you have to calm down. If you know it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. That's fine. Your nervous system is your responsibility, it's your specialty, you're the authority. And so, as I said, in shutdown, people have no energy. They are far, far, far from feeling safe and social. And the more down you go, you lose access to the things above. So I would say when you're in shutdown, it's almost the same as being dead. You're just not dead. But that's about it. So I wouldn't expect way more than just like have a sip of water. Maybe a small walk. Just get out of bed. Try to maybe wash yourself a little bit, have a little something to eat, like the basics. You have to start at the basics. When in shutdown, really the smallest steps. And I have to add, to come out of shutdown on your own is really hard. I would recommend getting professional help when you are in shutdown a lot or for a long time, because that's a really tough one to get out on your own because of the complete lack of energy, complete lack of capability of thinking and solutions, and you're just giving up because that's what that is for. But it doesn't really help to get back up, right? And another thing, when you get out of shutdown, you have to go through fight mode to get to safe and social. You don't just get there, which basically means the energy is gonna come back. And probably the things, the anger or the fear and that stuff that made you go and shut down in the first place, it's gonna come back first. And you're gonna have to go through that first before you can get to safe and social. And doing that on your own can be really hard because after all, you decided to shut down, you decided you cannot do it. So if there would be a professional next to you who's very safe and social, that could support your nervous system that's getting very triggered to stay a little calmer, a little bit longer. And they will make sure you don't shame yourself, you don't get angry, and they know stuff, right? They know how to do that stuff. So getting out of shutdown is really hard. Unless, I guess, you start to get to know your nervous system really, really well, but still shutdown is so shut down. Like your brain is maybe like one brain cell is still active. So even your toolbox will be hard to find. Takeaway from this whole ramble, there are 3 stages. Safe and social, where you live ideally as much as you can. Fight, flight, which is absolutely useful, but if you get stuck there, you have to find ways to make your nervous system feel safe again so you can get back up. And there is shutdown, where you're like in big trouble, typically after traumatic events, big ones or a lot of small ones. Another thing I want to repeat is, don't shame yourself, don't get angry, it doesn't work. The key word is safety. Your nervous system feels unsafe, and your task is to get to know it very well, to befriend it, and to figure out what helps to make it more safe. I hope you got something out of this, because I'm very chaotic in how I talk, but I'm also very passionate about this, and I use it every day, small and big ways. And even if this model is not perfect, it's really, really helping me. It's helping a lot of people, and I just wanted to give that to you as well. I hope it will help you. I hope it will make your life better too. Take care, stay safe, be nice to yourself, and I'll see you in, I don't know, next time.